And I remember Rob Kelly, Dr. Rob Kelly, addiction specialist, yes, he was saying this. I don't want to know what's bothering you. I want to know the stuff that you're taking to your grave, the stuff that's destroying you from within. And I remember thinking, I could never tell him what I did. And I'm sure he probably knows 50, 60, 70 bad things, worse things, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
it, I mean, I love how, like, in your work that you deal with that sort of level. You show people that no matter where your starting point, you have a good start, you can have a good finish point. But why are things like pickup? I know you're not a big fan of pickup. I
Hmm.
initially could never meet girls, and I was like got into it, and oh, you get told how to do things. You get told how to do this.
Hmm.
I then realized I was being a caricature. I was being somebody
Yep.
else. I wasn't myself, and girls saw through it. I was inauthentic as shit. I was ruined
Hmm.
at it. Why is pickup? Why is like these like threesome apps and all these sorts of things, polyamorous relationships? Why do we fail when we go down that road to find connection, the easy sex, the like going and meeting girls in clubs that are blazing, and
Hmm.
I'm not going to date them, but I'm going to sleep with them to get my
Hmm.
my fill. And why do
Hmm.
guys like that always become genuinely unhappy? Why is pickup like that a bad thing?
If you start with the belief that you can never truly connect to another human being and that your entire world is going to be a series of transactions of I'm going to make other people so happy that they will either do what I want or they won't leave me, your whole world comes down to a ledger sheet about how much you have done to make other people like you and just pushing buttons. The whole world then feels like a video game that you can never stop playing because you have to keep everybody's meters full everywhere you go. It's exhausting.
Hmm.
When you learn pickup game and red pill and stuff like that, it's just a different system. It doesn't teach you to stop and connect human to human with a woman and build an intimate, loving bond. It says do these things and it will make her, wet all over the place. And then she will just be crazy for you and she'll drag you into the bathroom. And then she'll pull in five of her friends and you'll be under a pile of naked women before you know it. And it's like it's not that's not how humans are supposed to work. So
Yeah.
no matter how advanced you make the video game, no matter how fun you make the video game, at the end of the day, you are just a man living and pushing buttons and getting fake rewards that just plunge you full of dopamine but give you nothing. At the end of the day, you don't have human contact. You don't have human bonding. You have no human impact. You have no human legacy. When you die, you will have left behind a bunch of naked women who will move on to the next guy. And that's it. You don't leave behind people whose lives are fundamentally changed. You don't leave behind people who say that was a man of honor, and because he lived honorably, I will live honorably. You
Yeah.
don't leave behind kids or adopted kids or nephews or nieces that you helped raise into adulthood. You don't leave behind lives transformed. That's human impact. And when you just chase endless feelings, there's nothing. That's hedonism. That's pointless. That is not a life. That is a simulation. That is the simulation model of a fake life with no connection. So men who just chase simulation, they're never happy. It's only when they stop and connect and build deep, intimate connections with family and friends and a partner who loves them. That's the only time they really find true fulfillment.
Because I felt like an addict. It's like I need another hit. I need another hit, and then I would want them to be like, "Let's go and have dinner. Let's go do that," and they'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is just
Mm-hmm.
casual," and I would
Mm-hmm.
suddenly see myself like aching for commitment from somebody that I knew
Yes.
who was not interested. It was so. How do we start finding true love then? How Because I remember you saying attachment issues will cause the majority of affairs. How do we
Mm-hmm.
find that person